X-Analysis from Fresh has been supporting the IBMI community in application discovery and documentation for many years now. And it does this through building a repository of data on your IBMI landscape. Look at X-Analysis as an MRI scanner for your IBMI estate. It forensically analyzes your RPG and COBOL applications and provides insightful analysis, documentation, and graphical representation of your IBMI applications, not just helping you know what's where, but fundamentally supporting your understanding of the IBMI enterprise. Now, while X-Analysis was unrivaled in its ability to extract and document your IBMI apps, this information was largely limited to experienced users. Now, powered by natural language processing and AI, the new X-Analysis lets you ask questions on your code, and it answers them in plain English. Questions like, what programs use this file? And you'll get an understandable answer in a natural conversational manner. This opens up your application resource and repository, not just for developers, but for project managers, business analysts, even at the C-level. They can all get actionable insights from the same tool without getting lost in the code. But more than that, whether you're tackling database redesigns, looking at an UI overhaul, or untangling a monolithic app, the AI-enabled X-Analysis will provide you with a clear visual roadmap. Look at it like getting a blueprint for your modernization journey. So this all sounds interesting. Well, let's take a look. And for this, we have Ray Everhart, Product Manager for X-Analysis at Fresh, to provide an introduction.
So if you've used X-Analysis in the past, you'll recognize that this looks a lot different. So we're a modernization company and we've modernized our software. What you see here is a REST API architecture that gives me the opportunity to do all kinds of things that I couldn't do in the Eclipse framework, or it would have taken me a lot longer. So this is like I said, it's browser-based. So if you update the version of X-Analysis running on your server, everyone who accesses this URL gets that new version. So this is a repository of information. If I wanted to see what's information is in there, I've got this option right here. It's pretty self-explanatory. But I can also go over here and give it questions. So I want to say, show me the files. Now my context is already set to this repository, okay, because it remembers from the last time I was in. But what it's doing right now is it's taking this information, determining what APIs to call, and then displaying the information over here. Now what's really interesting about this is it prompts me along the way, what else do you want to do? I've given you a list of files, but is there something that you want to do? So I'm going to say, show me the fields in the A status. Now this particular chat window here, this is not unfettered access to an LLM. Okay, we control what you can do with it. If you give it something that doesn't really belong within X-Analysis, me a sandwich, it's going to politely decline. So this allows you to secure how this is used and how your company embraces AI. So it very politely says, no, what else do you want me to do? And I'm going to say, well, I want to explore program relationships. Now I'm going to give it a specific program. I could have just as easily gotten a list and then worked from there. But as I'm working through, it remembers the context of my conversation. And it's telling me here, this is the program that I just asked about, and it's giving me a program structure. So it's telling me, okay, this is the top level program. It calls these programs, and then these programs get called right on down through. It tells me how things are used. It tells me, whether it's a program, and it gives me all of that information very quickly. Now, let's just say that I'm only interested in CLP programs. this filter allows me to restrict this list very easily, and it's a complex filter. So I can narrow down the things I want to look at very easily as I'm going through and trying to figure out what the impact of something is. So let's just say that there's a particular program right here, Salesman Selection Screen. So this is a third level deep call. And if I change this particular program, what's the impact of that going to be? Okay, so I want to know any place that uses the salesman reference file, or I'm sorry, the salesman selection program. So it came back and told me these are all of the places, all of the programs, these 15 different places use it. And I can see that, okay, this is a calling program. But what's interesting here is I also can see, oh, this is an entry-level reference. What does that mean? That's the top of the call stack. So that means that I have to start with this program to navigate down to this program that I'm interested in changing. So now I can quickly go in here and, I can sort based on what this is. I'm going to filter here. I just want entry. Okay, so I have these 11 programs. This is the start of my test plan. Right? So I know that I have to start with these programs and navigate down through. If I'm going to change that program and I want to know that everything that it uses, I can then build my environment for testing and get that list of information right from here. So I can interact either on the right side here with the drop-down options, or I can ask it questions and discover things along the way. So let's find out a little bit more about that salesman selection screen. So I'm going to say, what do you know about that program? Okay, so when we talk about application intelligence, what would it take for me to gain this information about a program I have never seen before? Okay, this is where we use AI to describe what this program is doing. And we're not giving just the source code. Because we have this repository of information about how things are related, about the names of the columns that are in the tables, the names that are associated, the descriptions. We have all of this metadata that we use to enrich this description. So this is going to give me a very rich understanding of what's going on inside of this program, and I get some very good documentation just by saying, tell me what you know about this. Now, the other part of what we use X analysis for is managing change, application management. So if I'm going through and I say, okay, I want to change this this one particular program, but I need to understand all of the things around it, I can create something called an application area. So I created an application area called WW_CustS. If I put in here the say show me all the objects, I have 46 objects in here that are all related to this WW_CustS program. All of this application area contents was created with a single rule. I said, show me everything related to WW_CustS. All of the calling programs, all the called programs, all the tables that are used, the logicals that are associated with those tables, all of that information was created with one rule. Let's say that I want to understand this particular application. How complex is it? So in this case, I happen to have an application area named the same as the program that's in it. But it knows that my context is in the case of this application area. And so what I just showed here is all of the metrics that we've collected about this. Okay, so this program has 14 lines of code. That's not a very big one. It tells me how many lines of code are actually there that do something, not comments. The cyclomatic complexity tells me how many paths there are through a particular program. So the other thing that's helpful here is I can say, okay, this is called from so many places and it calls this many other programs. So if I'm trying to clean something up and I see that it's used in many, many places, I know that my effort to remove that particular program is much higher. So the first explanation that I showed you here when I said, tell me about www.cust-s, is one level of what the explain function can do. Let's just say that, at some point, developers are going to want to say, show me the source, right? And just for reference, these commands that I give, you could be a lot wordier than I am, but that's all part of learning how to interact with AI, is to give it enough context that it'll do what you want. Now, this is one of the benefits of modernizing your system. This is an editor. In fact, it's the same one used in VS Code, and we can leverage these kinds of components in our application without having to write everything. So this is the kind of thing that we can do and accelerate because we've moved, because we've modernized, because we've embracing the newer pattern of developing things. But as I'm going through here, let's say this particular field right here is of interest to me, I can highlight that and I can say, oh, where is this used? I want to know across my entire system, where is that field used? So now I'm into my variable where used capability, okay? And I can see all the places where that particular variable name is used. This quickly gives me an understanding of all the places where that particular field is used. But if I'm looking at this particular code, and let's say there's a subroutine that I'm interested in, I can highlight that subroutine and say, explain what this is doing to me. Now, if I wanted to, I could have given it the command, please explain this code snippet that starts at line 90, goes to 125 for this source member, but you've seen my typing, so that takes too long. So we have a combination of ease of use for this. As I'm working through it, I can work on either the left or the right side of this. So this explanation is much more detailed, line by line, of what's going on inside of this code. And it doesn't just give me pseudocode, it explains what it's doing. It tells me, okay, there's an indicator. Now, I might not know what an indicator is, okay, because maybe I'm not an RPG programmer. So in the context of understanding an RPG code, I can say, well, what is an indicator? What does the move statement do? All of these different things, I don't have to know RPG to find out. I can even let people that aren't necessarily developers begin to understand what this system is doing. Right now, if you don't have a tool like this, you want to know what something does, what it impacts, you have to call a developer. And that takes them away from the other things that you'd rather have them doing. So you can see how much faster I can do impact analysis with this. I can figure out what I need to test. I can give estimates based on, I may never have changed this code before, but, based on all of the different complexity factors, based on the object count, the lines of code, it becomes very easy to have more accurate effort estimation models.
Thank you, Ray. So the AI-enabled XA is more than just a tool. It's a partner in your application development and modernization journey, transforming your experience in your analysis and use of the data landscape. X-Analysis now combines AI-powered insights, intuitive visual tools, and user-friendly features like the explain function to bridge skills gaps. But it's not just the transformative nature of your experience and insight, the speed to find the answers you need will be greatly enhanced too through the use of the AI engine, quickening your quest for knowledge and enabling faster decision making. So all in all, Freshe's AI enhanced X-Analysis stands as a significant advancement in IBMI application discovery and understanding, offering IBMI shops a smarter, faster and more accessible path to support and modernize their legacy systems. For more information on X-Analysis and how it can help you, please visit the Proximity website. But for now, I'm Andrew Nicholson, where Proximity, your IBMI application development and support partners that are in your corner. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.